Alright. Am I going to? I think I will. Actually no, I want to review the tutorial. Oh, Lances also has side attacks. Good to know.
Time for a change. This is the one.
So yeah, they didn't have it working yesterday when I wanted to stream it, but it's working now. This is Stranger Paradise Fantasy Origin, also known as Final Fantasy Nioh, because it's almost explicitly just that. Like, ridiculously so. Reviewing this again, because I just want to know, get all my stuff down. Soul Bursts are just the killing blows.
All right.
Where you just crush them and turn them to crystal. So this is your parry thing, basically. You use this to just like super parry stuff, as long as you have the soul meter for it, which is the meter that'll come up when... Where are you? The yellow meter at the bottom there. This is a really rad one. You basically just have like blue magic. Where are you? You just have blue magic just on all the time, kind of. I keep hitting circle to attack, even though that's not attacking this game at all. Brain is broken, I believe it, by stuff. Just anything, really. I don't know what exactly what game I'm thinking of to making me do it, but it's not Nioh either, because Nioh was square and triangle, actually. Wasn't it? Yeah, because R1 you held to do your stance switching. So yeah, Lightbringer is a whole thing. It's down to a little better now. It's based on your breaking gauge. You also need 1 full MP, which is probably why I didn't use it much in my first playthrough, because
Time for a change.
I ended up using all my MP on my special moves instead. It is incredibly Nioh, though. The way your guy moves, the camera, the aesthetics of the tutorial field here. The blood effects, a lot of the weapon stuff, the skill tree stuff, which I think I can access here. Yeah. I could have sworn I had gotten more of this, but I guess I didn't. Just straight up. get triggered. Not just yet. But we will get triggered in this run. Didn't use mage too much admittedly. Probably should though. Get the black mage and see what that's like. But yeah, it's very Nioh-like, just a lot more. Certainly a lot more immediately obvious and readable. It's a lot more trimmed down per skill tree because there's a lot more of them, I think. Well, at least it seems like there's going to be. And also because this is still early in development, so they probably just haven't filled out the rest of like stats, more attacks, and anything else. Equipment screen, incredibly Nioh-like. On top of being able to set moves, you can bind to L2 plus a button. Equipment is basically exactly Nioh's system. Armor set this, you don't have accessories like Nioh did, and you only have your one weapon per class instead of having 2 weapons and then 2 ranged weapons, and you know your ammo types for all of them and everything else, which I didn't mind. I could keep track of all that pretty well. But apparently people had difficulty. Let's say apparently, people had difficulty with that where I didn't. You have 2 jobs equipped at any point in time. In this case, I have Warrior and Lancer, soon to be Dragoon. Warrior is the advanced form where you're starting on Swordsman. It uses big ass swords. It's basically, Final Fantasy changes around what class uses what all the time, and classes can use multiple weapons anyway all the time in the older games. So in this case, Warriors just have big ass swords, and probably axes later, but mainly big ass swords. I guess I'll go into the combat system shit in a bit. Out of curiosity, how far can I go? Yeah, about there. That tree is going to be meaningful, I'm sure of it. The dashing and blocking and hard, your blocking is a bit more freeform than Nioh. Actually, to be fair, I don't remember. No, I guess because when I blocked in Nioh, I was always locked on, so it didn't seem as freeform. It probably wasn't. Probably was as freeform. Dashing works basically exactly the same way. Party moves kind of like the way the brute counters probably should have been in Nioh 2, but they were still good. This is just a bit better, I think. I may need to adjust the brightness options up, because I remember having trouble seeing shit in some of the rooms in here. Yeah, they have the Nioh blockable and unblockable attacks thing on the Nioh 2 one. I forget if Nioh 1 had unblockable attacks. I think it did. I mean, no, actually, I don't think it did. I think, technically, Nioh 2 had unblockables. But they were unblockable in the sense that you couldn't block them normally, but if you used a brute counter, you could just, smack it away. There's been like lots and lots of shitting and screaming about it until I noticed when the demo came out, people began actually playing it and showing gameplay and everything, and now it's starting to settle, and that's pretty much because A, Square Enix snubbed the shit out of it, and B, people are just, overreactive, whining children, let's be real.
Warm welcome. I don't stand a chance.
That might be enough, actually. The battle settings, job trees. Yeah. It's because we have the thing that, yeah. I'll have to come back and get these, like, stats and all. Yo.
Alright, time
Gonna
for
have some
change.
fun with that. You can't jump two enemies, it's just jump in the spot. You know, fair enough, I suppose. Probably be a wee bit unreasonable to be able to... There's another one over here, unless they jumped them. We'll get to the stone thrower in a sec.
Should be fine here. I could keep going.
Yo, throw a rock.
See what's inside, Jack.
The blow effects on the weapon and all are basically directly lifted from how Nioh did it. I think this probably explicitly is just built on Nioh's engine. It seems most likely. Like a lot of the visual effects, a lot of mechanic stuff, and just how it feels, just feels identical to a lot of Nioh stuff. Alright. Button. They're a lot better at this because I understand the mechanics. Even just there, you know, I was zoning out a bit while I focused. Excuse me.
Nice one, Jack. Now let's see what secrets this place is hiding.
Like, it just all blends together. Like, you saw their, like, combat system where it has like a basic 3-swing. From that 3-swing, at any point you can hit like a direction, so like hit back on greatsword you do this, hit forward on greatsword you do a launcher. Greatsword doesn't have any side ones like Lancer does, where it can do like a side swing to either way. Depends on the weapon. And around all that you can hit R2 to use whatever skill you assigned R2 to be at that point in your hit string. You can set it, like some of them can only be in certain parts of the hit string, like some can only be in after the second hit, some only after the third, some only after the first, and some of them can be put anywhere. You can use the same one in any spot you want. Weapons, at least on Greatsword and Warrior, you can hold the button to charge up a hit, and going from charge hit has a separate R2 you can set. Stuff like that, like it's all over the place, it's rad. What does Dragoon get? Hey, Lancet. That's one of the, like, that's a Dragoon ability I haven't seen in a bit. It's a traditional Dragoon ability that does basically the same thing here. You just, you know, you absorb. Well, in this case, you recover when exploiting a weakness, but before you just hit them with it and you just get stuff back. That seems really good. That's only for Dragoon ones, though. I guess swap the Dragoon to get your MP back. That's a tactic. Ooh. So you can move. That's really good. Dragoon's all just direct damage, crits, things costing less. Let's get more stats for now. I'll show magic in a bit around the point magic comes into it, because there's a specific spot where it starts coming into it. I couldn't tell before, but that's a gap that brings you back down and you have to walk back around. And because we touched a equivalent to a shrine with our bonfire, depending on which game you're on about, everything's reset. Because it explicitly is just Final Fantasy Nioh / Final Fantasy Soulsborne. Wrong button. You wanna hit me again with it? No. You're shooting him fine.
As if we... Good job. Now on to the next. Let's go.
I thought I was aiming for the other guy. If you played Nioh, you might recognize Mince as the ability of the little shitlings, the little tiny goblins. From that one. The Gaki. Get. I did that way too early. Get out of my way. I don't remember which one you are. I haven't learned their names yet. This is actually a good point to pass over. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's some armor pieces are like cover 2, which are really good, but you know, yeah, where left an eye? Oh yeah, you can use shields. Might as well then.
This is the one.
So magic, right?
Enemy spotted.
Come on, follow me.
Swear to God.
Stay out of the flames, unless you want to get cooked.
Let's find another way around.
It's high time.
All right.
Kill. Oh. Oh, he's already done. Sick. So a neat thing, because this is all covered in bush. There we go. There's too many in aggro at once.
See how much fire that thing can eat.
Ah, we're out of MP.
I
Oh, well.
got you.
I think they may be dying.
Give up on me, Ash.
Yeah, okay, they're both dying. We'll deal with them in a sec. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I timed the button press wrong. You hit them with fire, they just grow. That's fine. Theoretically, you could probably just make them keep growing. Do all that. That should just... Yep, that does indeed bypass an entire outdoor section. Where you just fucking go. It's feeling more natural now, but I am kind of like you haven't used the touchpad because like Square Enix does other things instead of being one of your dedicated buttons. It does just kind of feel weird. Square X, whichever it was.
Let's get ourselves together.
Like your mage class does have melee attacks as well. On the how those is one of the chain swings. Releases ice shit when you attack with it. Hang on. Increases MP recovery. That's pretty neat. Spark Strike again, another classic actually in terms of name. Oh yeah, this one over here, Ruin. You can actually put that on other jobs because it's a command type ability instead of a combo ability. Which means there is an extent of multi-classing stuff on top of the two classes you have equipped, giving their stat buffs you have to each other. Black mages get flare. I wonder if they have dialogue for if I walk outside. There should... Actually, no, this is the end of it, so there's no enemies here. Yeah, okay. But yeah, ordinarily you'd go outside and you'd fight around, like, you know, chains of goblin packs and stuff to do it, or you can just fight through the bombs, which is a tricky fight.
Alright.
And this is a neat thing. So you can use spells to get rid of elemental stuff. You hold it for longer, you get bigger spell.
Let's knock him down.
There was last time I was in here. Does not seem to be here this time. No, it's not here this time. That or they already killed it and it died super easy, or they chased it off. There's a cactar in here. There was a cactar in here last time I was here. And it shat the move 1000, you know, the traditional 1000 needles move, and it's a purple move, so you can soul shield it and get 1000 needles.
Nice room.
Smells like trouble. Stay alert.
Bomb. I've seen people do things where you, like, if you kill the bomb near the edge and it falls, it will fall all the way down, hit down there, explode, and then it will damage the wolf underneath. Because enemy friendly fire is, you know, directly and steadily on. I don't think I did this last time either. No, I did not.
Looky here.
What's in here? Ah, boots. Yeah, maybe I was good. I didn't turn the brightness up because walking past these windows is a bit, a bit spicy. One might say.
This is the one.
You're gonna do some like advanced tactics. That would have worked.
They burn just like we do.
Good thing there's plenty of kindling around.
Oh, they had reactions to me doing that.
See anything following us?
I could keep going.
Open flames.
We got company.
Yo.
Knock 'em down.
Alright.
They have to come all the way up and around.
This is the one.
Like a match.
Ah.
Time for a change.
Oh, fall damage, of course. That's right, I need to build the MP up so I can do it. What do you know? This is a spot that just kind of trivializes the wolves. The wolf pack. I didn't find this at all last time. That's really neat. Probably not getting that one, eh? There's the boss wolf for the boss and bigger enemy. Yeah, eat shit, buddy.
Like a match. All right.
I don't have any MP because I did it all doing my spellcast. The only thing is I think MP doesn't recover fast enough, and it's a wee bit awkward getting it all back. Yellow. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to any text colors for equipment earlier, but I think it might have Nioh's like rarity system as well for equipment, which is pretty sick. Ah. So if you drop the bomb down on top of exploding, it would set a lot of the grass around here on fire, so it would just take out most of that for you. Or you could just stand there and shit fireballs over the ledge where nothing can get you. Last time I just had like a hell of a shit fight fighting a wolf pack and like, oh fuck, oh Jesus, getting used to the timing dodges around them. How you doing? That's a bit too much of a drop. That is good. Yeah, I'll take that one. It also has the affinity on it. Yeah, good there. Coats, we got better coats that we can use. Not really. Gloves? Oh, I got so many gloves. Not very many caster gloves, but we got gloves for fucking everyone else. Actually, that is better for him. This is what I mean. You can just, you know, it's kind of like swapping around. Because in Nioh, whenever I was like low or wanted even bigger oomph, I would go in and swap out the bow or the gun from my pause menu for the hand cannon, and I would just use hand cannon shots to kill problematic demons with headshots from a safe distance. If the bullets wouldn't be enough or the bow wouldn't be enough. It's kind of like that. It's just in general for how early this is. Well, this is apparently is because you know if this the way this goes, usually there'll be like another demo or two from them as they fine tune everything. And for how like everything they showed in the trailers also from this, they probably don't have that much of it done yet. There is a stupid amount of really like intricate like interconnecting systems going on and everything. It's wild.
So we've come full circle, huh?
Ladder, over there.
It's kind of nuts just how good it is. The only problem with all that is because I didn't do much soul bursting to get, you know, max MP back. I'm not kind of drained until I start beating shit with my weapons. Which I guess is how they, which is a good system, I suppose, really, for keeping you from just spamming all your Giga moves. You also just touch this and get it all back. So maybe not, maybe not that intricate a blocker. But yeah, you can slide out of like attacks really well. So, you know, stuff slides and chains together super well. You can dodge. It's got Nick Neo's blocking and dodging fundamentals all in, so it's like it's already basically fucking excellent from where to go in that regard. I guess the red stuff must be equivalent to money. That's another thing, actually, death. So when you die, your max MP just gets capped for a bit until you do some soul bursting. Which means, you know, like, the deaths aren't all that punishing all told. Which, honestly, is fine. It's not, it's as they say, with higher difficulties you want the stronger challenge. And this is attempting to accommodate the Final Fantasy audience as much as it is the Soulsborne audience. Team Ninja's got those good action game fundamentals, so you know it shows here already. This game just feels fucking great to run around in and play. And so that's one thing. People have mentioned. I'm half tempted to just write all this up in a big post about this game.
Can't lose with Jack here. I hate that.
You just slap enemies against walls and that will break their stamina if they're small enough and get blasted. I literally just warcry a bat into a wall so I can beat it to death. Ow. We have wall bouncing. I haven't got the timing for the Ukemi mechanic down, but when you get knocked down, I want to steal your stream. I tried. Actually, is it because I have? Do I still have it? There, I had to hold it to make it proc. Did I still have fire from the bombs? But I don't think so. I heard someone mention that you can't just carry them in everywhere, but I think either your instant ability gets wiped when you go into a boss fight, at least in this demo, or it fades after a while. I haven't noticed because I've never held them long enough to see. We'll find out if I don't use instant, use the supersonic scream on something. Did I? No, yeah, that's progress this way. You step out here and do your glance, but over there's a treasure chest.
The biggest tower for himself.
Still got a ways to go.
Yeah, stay alert. Stay focused.
It is insane, just as I reflect on it, that Square Enix snubbed the living shit out of this at their conference. Like, this is nuts. If they just walked through at least some of this, there's not all of it, sections of it, after showing the trailer and then before announcing the demo would be free for everyone to play themselves, fucking insane difference in how good that conference would have been. This game is so fucking good. It's just so good. It's nuts. Alright, so this is the big spicy fight, and this is where... Ow, ow, ow. That's where you get really fun stuff, like Supersonic Scream just being a really good breakage destroyer. Straight up, it just murdered that goblins, actually. Ow. Fucker. That supersonic scream is really good for flooring little shits. Just flows all together, like the kill moves, like everything you're doing just flows together super well. This spawned wolves last time, it hasn't done it yet. It's like alpha wolf and everything. There he is. Not you. That's right, you have to... Your charge move has like armor on it. He rips the mic open and headbutts the crystal spikes he himself made. Jack is fucking wild. He's having none of it. He's letting it rip. Fucking great. I love this guy already. I barely even know him. It's just from getting on in gameplay. He's just glorious. So I love these moments where it's just you and your two allies just behind the shit out of something. You just see its break gauge fall to pieces as he's just beating the shit out of it. I just realized I had wished elsewhere that, oh, I hope Monk is a job in the game. Our guy here, I don't know who's action, who's dead. One of them, like, he's a monk and he's a ninja. Like, he has the daggers and he's been punching shit. So, like, it's in the... They're planning for it, hopefully. Hopefully you, too, can be a monk. And I assume you must be able to customize them if they're going to be sticking with you for the whole game. Probably set their battle sets to be like, you know, mage or other stuff. Probably white mage, I would assume. That must be one, surely.
Treasure ahead.
Let's grab that first. I also know I went through that without using potions, despite the amount of hits I've been getting. Partly because I have Warcry, which just heals. It gives you regen over time, so it's nuts. But that's kind of feeds into like it's not as difficult as Nioh, but like not by half. And that's A, perfectly fine, and B, just it kind of just is fun. It's kind of fun just to be able to destroy shit. We don't know if that'll be true for the final game. They might beef it up. Who knows? How's mage doing? That's the other thing. If you if as long as you have it like equipped, yeah, you get job points for the other one, even if you're not actively using it in the fights, which is really nice. Yeah, this is also from Nioh. These movie mechanics. That would be flare. Sorry, just get. Intellect. Seal of blood. Ooh, auto soul burst or stuff you kill with the next attack. With your next spell. Big Lightbringer buff. Fast cast. Ooh, well, Lightbringer's active. Element buffs. Agility. Sorry, I can feel a little rice or chicken or something into my teeth. I'm just like, get out. I think we'll swap back to Dragoon as our other one, though. Well, actually, let's have a gander. I also noticed we have Quick and Arrow as well. The thought occurs about something I can do with that in the boss fight. So I might, well, you know, spells in general in the boss fight, so I might keep. This is my side, and we'll see if I don't die trying to use it. Otherwise, I'll just stay warrior for the whole fight and beat the shit out of them. So these guys are the first enemies to have unblockable moves. Which are, you know, those, not that one, that's just the, that's one that can steal. But, you know, the skeletons get murdered. Their sauciness is meant to be, they block actively, as well as having, you know, the unblockable mag did grab that bloody claw, so you can play within a rad and use. This is kind of what I mean about it being too dark. Like, that looked like a door I could go through at first until I rubbed against it a bit. It's like, oh, okay. Ooh. So, being an early demo and all, it does occasionally have little hitches. Surprisingly, this time it held together after the big fight, which is where when I played it the first time, everything kind of went to, you know, staggered for a bit. Kind of like this is doing now. People reported like more grievous issues, like David said he had more obvious problems. I think that might be because they're playing in 4K and I'm not, because my capture card makes it 1080p just, you know, by necessity. See, the 4K capture pass-through card. But I think I won out then because I don't have those issues.
Treasure, huh?
Key to fits doors. Also, your ally, that's the unblockable one, which is actually just a move from 2 as well, I'm pretty sure. Probably also like that. No, that's from the regular soldier. I'm getting that. That's kind of the thing. He turns away, he drops his attacking stance, also makes him face away, which is a weird little pillar fell on him and broke his shit. Excellent. Thinking about it, the whole thing of using different moves by hitting the attack button in a direction at the same time, that's kind of what they wanted for Final Fantasy 15, when you think about it. Which, Final Fantasy 15 did have that, its combat system did have those little touches and all, didn't exactly feel great, but they were there. Their combat system wasn't just mash buttons to win. In my experience, if you just try mashing buttons to win, you just get your head caved in pretty quick. I didn't open this door last time. I didn't see you last time.
Warm welcome.
Resists.
All right.
Yeah, he's resisting that. He's weak to one of their areas. One of them has a weapon or something. He's not liking. Are you too far away to build meter? They're just kind of wrecking it for me. That's it. I was trying to be fancy by like winding up thunder, but I guess that's just not gonna work. Ow. Get back down here. It tried flying. I did my aerial, just smacked it back into the ground. That's rad. That was meant to be a sneaky hard fight to get you good. Don't really have one that like goes with caster, do we? It's kind of just all around better is the thing, but that is for you. Get crunchy. As we're wearing the cloak, so that doesn't permit helmets. Finity's done, but these two are identical. So many shields. Yeah, let's go with that.
Alright.
That's the thing, like, claw physics are wacky right now. At times, which is, it's fine, you know, that's our derivative. It's funny to see. Oh.
This is the one.
That's right, I didn't see myself grab this either. 1.2, 1.2. Break damage and stuff, or well, break damage dealt 1.2, physical damage dealt 1.2. Yes. All the weapons have the same models, as like, you know, you basically have your one per class. I imagine if it's like Nioh, there'd be a few of each. Or, you know, a good... Maybe 10, maybe a dozen each? I don't know. Guess who's on the other side of that?
This is so thick I can taste it. This is it, no doubt.
You just press L3 to start running, it's not hold, which is, you know, thank God. Holding L3 to run would just be very awkward, honestly. I wonder how well this whole bit maps to the actual Chaos Shrine from Final Fantasy 1. I wonder if anyone's thought to do that comparison yet. It does the other thing where your teammates react to you, like moving past them, pushing past them, which always annoys the shit out of them. It's because they're kind of like, oh, why you do that? They're not saying it, but the gesture implies it, and it annoys me because it's kind of like, because I have this, what do you want me to do? Sometimes I just straight up can't, and you won't fucking move. Alright, we have to actually either these. Yeah, big room. Go for it. Yeah, you can't get anything yet. The room's tapped. Alright. Oh, it didn't show the cutscene. That's a pretty good. Oh. That kind of works. That does seem to expose a weakness thing, but ow. It's too fiddly for my liking. I'm getting wrecked now. I should have just stuck to this beating him with the great sword in it. Should have lost that and that. Yep, I didn't time that right. Fortunately, one of the teammates is distracting him. Time for this to get rad as hell. It's just so good. Wrong button, there we go.
No way.
So this is what darkness does to humans. Keep it alive.
Yeah.
Baby, with this, we know he doesn't back.
Ah, yeah, he got me. I tried to be too saucy. That's fine. Should have dodged on then thing. So apparently, if you hit him with like 3 blazes, you can just break his ice form. It's demonstrating that actually what we will do. It's demonstrating, yeah, your penalty is just your max MP is done a wee bit till you start getting your shit done. Oh, Dragooners are back up. Oh, well, it just answered my question there. Oh, you can just use Soul Shield at all to get MP back. Oh, now it becomes more clear. I could have timed that better. And that. It's fine. We're good. So Ash is the monk. Oh, that's unfortunate. Get him good. Like you just punched the helmet, like the fucking hell, with a punch, not like your shit. Not your mad like powers or anything, just a punch. You just slam it. And that's all it takes to like bust the helmet open. It's nuts. Oh, he's wrecking me this time. Not really, because helping you out uses the potions I would rather use on myself. I timed that horribly. And that. I tried dodging. I saw it coming, I tried dodging. I'm just being comboed against the wall. Yeah, he's gonna get me. Or not. I tried to soul block it there, but I got the timing wrong. I have to remember that soul blocking can actually be done by pressing and holding. Here, please. I took like 3 tries to beat him last time, so we're still in line. Just realized something about the piercing thrust move. Can't go into your swings that fast. Soul guard at least. Yeah, I did that, unfortunately. Catches it, throw your way. It's nuts. Oh shoot!
Give up on me, Ash.
That was me dead. Yep. When the guard break happens, it's like, oh, that's me fucking dead. Trying to be too cheeky about the soul burn, the soul guard. Oh yeah. Oh, don't make that noise behind me, Luigi. Not that it's not traditional scary, it's the oh no, he's gonna break something scary that makes me live in terror of my own son. Unfortunate about that. Let's see. Fucking online, you should probably place the onslaught spring somewhere else. Where the hell are you walking to, buddy? Should have dodged. Ah, try the joist. Eat shit. Fucking the cross counter. You just crack each other and then you immediately spring back and just uppercut him. He just has to eat shit and that's it. Where are you? There you are. Ah, fuck. The demo doesn't show you anything after that. Or at least... Yeah, okay, there we go. I was gonna say, but it didn't show me anything after that last time. But suffice to say, even at this very early stage, this is fucking great. It feels great. It has so many of those interconnecting mechanics and systems that chain together lovingly already. They've got like the Nioh level design, Nioh like blocking, dodging fundamentals down. You saw like once I stopped trying to be too fancy and just sat down with it and just went for my like, you know, blocking, dodging timings that I just have intrinsically burnt in from like a good 200 to 300 hours of Nioh across both games. Yeah, it just fucking came together. Admittedly, like, the standout thing is that because you have like your two partners all the time, it's kind of like you got two AI summons constantly. The flip side being that as they go down, you have to get to a checkpoint to get them back up, or spend your own health potions to get them back up. The potion system works like Nioh, where you can hold up to like 8, and you have a bit. I don't know if like just for the demo they give you an infinite stockpile, like you just get returned to fire every time you touch a thing. In Nioh, you would always be given 3, and if you had none stockpiled, and any above that, you can hold up to your max of 8, or take them from your stockpiles. I guess this, just for now, because it's, it's just a 1 level demo and all, it'll just give you a fixed 5 no matter what, because the intent isn't to be as balls hard as Nioh is, being a more direct challenger to Souls games. Sorry, I probably should have muted for that, but it's hot. It's really good. I already filled out the survey and said, basically everything's great. My MP region I think is still a bit too low, even for like when I realized, oh wait, you can just get it back from just using the Soul Guard at all. I do think I would prefer it being a bit beefier for that, at least. I don't know. There is an easy mode and there's an easy plus casual, which turns off further mechanics for easy mode, like unblockable attacks on casual are gone. I don't know if casual is a modifier that applies to all difficulties or just easy and specific. The survey implies that it's just for easy because it asks what difficulty you play on. There's like a hard, normal, easy, and then easy plus casual. So it has an easy automatic mode. Between that and the press X when you get down thing, which I don't have the timing for down yet. But press X when you get down to get back up instantly. We're finally, D1's lessons are finally beginning to spread. Yeah. It's really good. Like, it's just every bit of it's really good. Like, the level's great. Like, I like just the viciousness of Jack, of the characters. It just feels great so far. We'll see how they actually are once the actual story shit. For now, it's great. The concept is very interesting. They're clearly setting up for Jack to be Garland, or Garland to be Jack. Maybe. Which is intrinsically interesting. Had a brainwave about the names Ash and Zed. Kinda. It doesn't completely map, but there might be something to that. The cutscene when you're like squaring up with Garland, he's like, "I'm going to be chaos" and all that. You get like a overlay from Princess Sarah, the princess he kidnaps at the start of Final Fantasy 1 that makes you go to kick his head in at the start. Like, It is a very interesting way of doing things. And I don't think it's explicitly like a... They've already done like alternate takes and played with Final Fantasy 1 in specific as an origin point for a side game background connected universe thing, which the City games cover, like the eternal war between the god Chaos and the goddess, I forget her name. I think it might just be Eos, but that's I think also just the Final Fantasy 13 one. I forget. But anyway, I didn't play the City ANT, I just heard it was kind of bad. Yeah, I already filled out the survey. Well, let me see it again, or will it say you've already filled this out? Oh, let me fill it out again. Might as well just show the questions, I guess. Because I can't bother filling the answers in. They do note exactly how far did you get, like, so they know what you liked and didn't like, all that. I do like there's attempted final boss that did not win and all that. I wonder if they actually, if they can like map your actual data, like do you have a complete save or is it just, an unfinished save and map that to your answers? Which will be funny to see. They won't tell us that, of course, but it'd be funny to know. I do think basically MP region probably has to be ticked up a bit, but otherwise it feels really good. A lot of the other systems, like in Nioh, you would burn down all of your loot. You just throw it all into a shrine afterwards for money, mile the XP, mainly just like getting shit tons of free ammo and health items for doing it. Or you could sell it all, bust it all down for materials at the blacksmith. Let's see how all that goes. Like, does it have like a world map and in between level maintenance stuff the way Nioh does? I presume so, given the way this is set up. It's basically exactly like a Nioh level. Pardon me. For a boss like Garland, I kind of wonder like how viable Black Mage would be as it is now. Like, you might need more. Black Mage does have elemental attacks for its combo string stuff you can put in, sure, but I'm kind of like you could probably touch that up a bit. Dragoon's pretty sick in general, just as it is. I do like they specifically ask, what do you feel like the balance of Garland? I was perfectly satisfied. I was like, yeah, that's some good ass boss fight. I'm kind of hoping there's not too many that are very dissatisfied, because I feel like they've got it down. Like they kind of have the balance, a lot of the intrinsic balance stuff set. Like while there's a lot of like mechanical changes and they've pared some things back to make it more generally accessible, while also just giving it more just rad shit to make up for that. For lunatics like me. I kind of hope that they do stick to their guns and some of the stuff they already have, because it feels like they kind of got it. in truth, I felt that way about Nioh 1 and 2 in general. It's like, Nioh 1, outside of certain bosses, I didn't have that much trouble with a lot of Nioh 1 bosses. And Nioh 2 wasn't much different. Like, once you got the burst counter stuff down, like, a lot of Nioh 2 bosses just kind of fell in line, I felt. But I think I might be a bit of an anomaly in that. I think Nioh just kind of really blends, just gels with me. Like the 3-4 deaths to Garland there, that would be a bad day or like a tougher boss in Nioh for me. It's mainly Nioh 1, but to be fair, Nioh 1 you could like... And 2, once you got like 2 sources of elemental damage and you could flick the, I forget what it's called, I think it's Discord status effect by just applying both of them at the same time, which would just make them explode and be slower and shit. It's one mad status effect for getting 2 elemental damage sources on them. I think mainly to make magic viable, but it's really easy to get a weapon that has 2 elemental attacks, or just have 2 of your weapon equipped that one with a different element each and swap them. Or just, you know, give yourself spells of another element to use while your weapon has a main one. A lot of ways to trigger it really easy. It does kind of let you demolish and burst down bosses super quick. But honestly, a lot of times like in Nioh, I find like the regular enemies could be more nightmares than some of the bosses could be. Some of the, like, you know, the final boss of Nioh 2, he was a prick. He was a fucking hard one, I felt. And the one that gave me the most difficulty in Nioh 1 was the... Fucking... Cat, you don't need to push that. There's a bowl on top of my bed and he's just bumping it a bit because he's trying to stretch out and happens to be there. It's like, don't fucking tip that over. There's crumbs and shit on that. I don't want them on my pillow. I should just move it, but I just forgot about it. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually an important one here. This bit. What types of game do you enjoy playing? Top answer, Monster Hunter series. Like, there's a thing going around suggesting that, you know, part of the reason Babylon's Fall is now a fucking live service multiplayer thing is that Square Enix have been surprised by and desperately chasing the runaway success of Monster Hunter World globally, without realizing that it's a mix of the already like intrinsically super good formula, like entire gameplay formula and setup, like interlocking mechanics, systems and all that. The gameplay loop of Monster Hunter is just really fucking good, so all the Capcom had to do was trim away some of the fat, give it a technological overhaul so that they could do that. You know, like loading zones are gone, it's all one continuous world. You know, speed up stuff, cut away some of like the fussier bits of material gathering and shit, so it's not as time consuming. And then just put it where the audience is, which was, you know, PC, PS4, Xbox One. You give it to them instead of keeping it on handhelds where most of the globe. Sure, you got audiences like over 1 million to 2 million in places. Like Nintendo tried very hard to cultivate Monster Hunter and did a pretty good job of getting it like over 1 million to 2 million in America and Europe, I think separately. But didn't fucking explode until you just gave it to people on consoles where everyone globally and PC, everyone globally can more readily access it, and then just there you go. Everyone's got it, so everyone can buy it. Square Enix don't seem to get that yet. They just seem to have an issue with the concept regularly of just taking the thing and putting it where the people are. Kingdom Hearts suffered that issue a lot, and, you know, finally Nomura seems to understand that bit. Well, I think he always understood, and it's just, you know, his higher-ups didn't. But that they finally got that one across to them, and, well, they haven't got it. Warriors, Heroes, the Musu games being second is just Team Ninja just going like, hey, do you happen to like our shit? Yeah. Battle Royale, I think, ties into the thing about Square Enix being interested in getting a live service thing going. Fighting games is just how much of a combo string thing you want this to be. Like, these 3 down to Dark Souls, and even 4 with Yakuza and Metal Gear Solid, that just kind of all ties into... That's all adjacent to Nioh and Team Ninja's stuff anyway. Like, all of, like, the seasons, they're all just adjacent to it. Fighting games on down to here, just all kinds of it. They're all just kind of adjacent to what Team Ninja get up to normally in Nioh, Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden. This and that, I think, tie into that point of Square Enix wanting a live service thing. Stealth Action is curious. That might That might just be like, you know, should we have more stealth elements in these Western action games? I don't really follow. I don't know why I said it. It might just be as just to fill out the gap. They're quite different from the stated examples here. Hack and slashes, obvious. Like Diablo is extremely obvious. Like the loot system in Nioh is already basically just Diablos. This is very interesting to have, like, did you hear on YouTube all this other shit? There isn't just E3 or like Square Enix's presentation or anything where we all saw it announced. How did you hear about it? The hardware manufacturer sites? Where does E3 fall under? Mass media? Games media? YouTube or influencer videos? Like, ugh. I'm down here, I just told them, like, please make MP game bigger, and I don't entirely understand the system yet. Hello, Haber. Unfortunately, you've come right as I finished. I might just run it back again. Game is extremely good. In fact, I will run it back again, but I'm going to go to the toilet first. If you want the summary, apart from the fact that I've been yelling about it for an hour straight to myself, think Nioh, bit less complex, but a bit less complex, bit less hard, but still like, very satisfying to play, and it's just Final Fantasy. And that's it. It's Final Fantasy Nioh. It's great. Like, this game got fucking snubbed at that conference. It's ridiculous that I got snubbed. There is, yes. Your main job is big swords. There's a dragoon class for spears. There's a mage class that uses maces and casts magic. You can have 2 jobs equipped at once, and you can just swap them with a button press, just as you like. Shit's really good. They snubbed the living shit out of this for their garbage Guardians of the Galaxy trash and Marvel trash. Like, it's ridiculous how good this is to play. I'll probably run it back again, but I'm gonna go to the toilet first because I'm kind of busted. So, back in a few minutes. Yeah, let's just go again. Yes, this time. Pardon me. Yeah, Nintendo won E3 halfway through their show. They didn't even have to come in that hard. They just won it anyway, but they did. They came in, they pointed at me and said, upon you, I will give violence. And then they just came from my throat. And then they kept going. I was like sitting here going like, you know, this is kind of shitty E3. I don't expect Nintendo to have much because they haven't done much of anything lately. Of course, they're not going to have anything. And then Nintendo just kicks in my door and says, you're going to eat shit and you're going to love eating this shit. And then they showed Metroid Dread. And Advance Wars is back. Fucking Advance Wars is back. It's a pair of remakes put together. It's back. I can't believe it's back. Metroid Dread already fucking floored me, and the Metroid is back, 2D Metroid is back, it's called Dread. I'm like screaming, and then, 10 minutes later, they're just like, Advance Wars, and they just showed like the Advance Wars map, and I just start yelling. I'm just like, what?
Let's go.
Let's knock him down.
Yeah, just from that, you might be able to tell from like the way you dodge, the way you swing, the way you just, you have a kill move. Enemies have both a health and stamina bar. It's just Final Fantasy Nioh. And like, it is just straight up Final Fantasy Nioh. It's funny how much of Final Fantasy Nioh it is. A bit jittery. That's probably because the PS5 is getting too hot in this closed room. Not Nioh, Nioh. If you haven't played Nioh, I highly recommend, especially like Soulsborne. It's a lot, like, part of my issues with like some of the Souls games is that basically like while their combat systems is like perfectly set for them, like they don't really have a combat system exactly. It's just kind of like, got light attack, heavy attack, and then Nioh comes along and goes like, hey, I'm part Ninja Gaiden. And, welcome. Nioh is really good. Like, in my grand list of, like, best Soulsborns, like, there's Demon Souls at the top for a myriad of reasons. and then there's Nioh, and then there's Nioh 2. And that's kind of like, that's pretty much it. It goes like, top one is Demon Souls for emotional reasons and for like stylistic reasons. And then you get down to gameplay, it goes immediately just goes Nioh and Nioh 2. It's like right away.
Let's take it down.
There are drop attacks, but he wasn't really in range. Oh yeah, speaking of drop attacks.
This is the time for a change.
Damn, where does all that darkness come from?
Hang on, that's goofing up. Why has Dragoon got the great sword? What is happening? Oh, I guess that's it. Like, the classes can technically equip each other's weapons, but you should really, use your class's weapon. That was a game just glitched. It's, still early days. But still. So, Dragoons, right? Dragoons can jump.
Guess this darkness wasn't bad enough.
I have MP right now. He's sick. MP is basically the thing that determines all the shit you can do. You refill it by doing these kill moves. You refill it by touching. Basically, you get all your max MP back. Max MP is what vanishes when you die. You get it back by using your parry move. Well, really say parry, like your special guard, your special block. So this one to like absorb shit. That will like perfectly eat attacks, even magic attacks, whereas your regular block will take regular attacks but not magic attacks. Stuff like that. Kind of edge. Like, the thing is, a lot of the proclaimed edginess is, granted, the trailer made it look like it's going to be. It is very violent. It is significantly more violent than every other Final Fantasy, as you can tell by the fact that I was walking around coated in blood after that fight. But while it is very violent, I don't know if it's exactly edgy, if you know what I mean.
Let's see how much fire that thing can eat.
When you hit bombs with fire attacks, they just eat it and grow.
That's fast.
Let's keep it up.
But, yeah. Actually, what we can do here is the other class in the demo. Black Mage.
This is the one. Time for a change.
I think the game is like blurring all my... No, okay, that's fine. That was probably it. Dragoon probably blurred shit together. While the environments are darker, that's not particularly unusual. There's not a lot. There's no like swearing or yelling "fuck" or anything. It's just, a very angry man is like, "I'm gonna kill this fucking idiot," and he is very angry in the way he kills things, and that's fucking rad to watch. I won't lie. Just stomp on them. You like rip dog mouths half open before exploding them. Stuff like that. So, magic.
Let's find another way around.
It's more like modern Doom, basically. That's a good way of putting it. He kind of is just the Final Fantasy Doomguy. Honestly, that's a good way of putting it. I wonder. Yeah. Timed out wrong.
Don't worry, Jay. I got you.
I think they're dying to a bomb behind me. They are. This is the thing, you have these two allies with you, and whenever... Where's the other guy? There he is. Whenever they go down, you have to use your potions that you heal yourself with to get them back up. So while they are like having a pair of summons all the time for destroying shit, you know, you can just... you can also just touch like a checkpoint to get them back up, I should say. It kind of balances out, I guess, a little bit. Where, you know, to keep their distracting abilities and the damage they put out. And they do put out good damage. They can tear down a dude's, even like the final boss of the demo, like if they get a good run on him, like if you manage like stun him or they get a good opening, they will just tear down his stamina gauge like super fast if they can. Cause guy on the right, he's a ninja. Guy on the left, he's a monk. I noticed because he's got like gauntlets and he punches shit. So, a whole neat thing. The idea when you get in this section is if you can't take the bombs because you don't have black magic set up or anything, what you can do is, also because this whole thing is filled with this vegetation. Hang on. He's not, probably because he's not got a target, I don't know. You can set all like the vegetation on fire and the bombs will, so approaching him is kind of a nightmare if you don't use mage and think to use water. I'm not very used to using it. So those set everything on fire here and cause lots of damage. There's an entire exterior path. You go out where you fight goblins and you see that dark vent over there. When you bust those, the pillar it's on falls down, it opens a path to the next section, and you run across like 2 or 3 of those to get around the area out there to the other side of the door. Or you can, you know, brute force your way through, get a chest, and kill the bombs for shit, and then you're just here anyway. Guys, the system is just really good. It's got a lot of really cool mechanics and ideas already. It's kind of nuts. Which just shows that, you know, 2 games and a whole pile of DLCs for both in Team Ninja and Omega Force kind of have the whole Soulsborne thing down. They kind of already have a good idea what they're doing. This is another neat thing. When I guess there's going to be a whole thing about environmental hazards, you can just use black magic spells to clear them. Didn't happen again this time. The first time I played the demo was by myself, and I was like coming through here. There was a cactar in among these bushes, and it did 1000 needles, which is a grabbable attack that you can then keep and use against stuff yourself. The idea of magic is you use you get pinned in place, you use the left stick to like sweep around and grab stuff. And hold R2 to like, you know, wind up the spell. If you hold it all the way around for the circle fill, you go through, you know, basic spell to the Ra version to the Ga version. So like Fire, Fire-a, Fire-aga. We'll show the real beefy shit of that in a sec.
Good job. Now on to the next.
Yeah, you just have, like, you don't even need to be Black Mage, which is a lot of things. You can just be the base mage and you can already do it. It does actually just wind it out from the start. It's kind of nuts. The skill tree stuff is like you have your basic classes, Swordsman, Mage, and Lancer, and you unlock these 2 by picking up their weapons. When you first find a spear, you unlock Lancer. You first find a mace, you unlock Mage. And then you start with Swordsman because that's who your guy is. When you get to the end of the skill trees, hang on, bounce back. There is an unlock for their advanced form, and that brings you over here. So you got Warrior, Black Mage, Dragoon, which are just beefier versions. Dragoon gets their jump, Black Mages get beefier spells. They can cast Flare and Eye. Warrior gets Warcry, which staggers enemies a bit and also gives them a regen. Shit's wild. Let's just sneak past.
Nice room.
Smells like trouble.
So like,
Stay alert.
the wolves down there, they're a thing. There's a bomb up there. I've seen people do a thing where you kill the bomb just right, that it falls off the ledge, falls down there, explodes, hits a wolf and damages it, but also starts fire spreading around, you know, all the bushwork. On my first run of it for this stream, I went that way though and killed that. And we're gonna do that.
This is the one.
That opens a path up top.
Looky here.
All right.
So we swap to magic. When we down there, all this is blocked off by these things, so nothing can reach us. Walk over here. Hey, there's a wolf. There's a wolf. Let the fire rise.
Burn just like we do.
Good thing there's plenty of kindling around.
Like a map. Open flames.
And just torch them. Just to shred them. But we're gonna get saucy. So Lightbringer is your super mode, and basically as long as that meter is going, everything you kill, on top of just being unstackable and everything you kill, you can't be knocked down, you can't be staggered, and everything you kill just automatically soul bursts, so you're just constantly getting MP back and shredding shit. Kind of. So like, the boss of the demo is Garland, the first boss of Final Fantasy 1. So you're here showing up to wreck him, and he's already going, I am about to become Chaos. He's in the Chaos Shrine, which is the final dungeon of Final Fantasy 1. He's already very clearly like part way along to like assuming his Satan form. In the cutscene, which won't play because I've already seen him, and thus it won't play because we're doing a replay of this, over, you know, a new game plus of the demo, so to speak. Actually, hang on, maybe we can change that. Hey, turn that off for the first one. You hear like a voice line from a Princess Sarah, who's the princess Garland kidnaps at the start of Final Fantasy 1, describing Garland. You are emphatically not the actual Warriors of Light from Final Fantasy 1, pretty clearly, despite thinking you are. That came across very clear in the trailer, I felt like, but people just took the guy at his word, even though, you know, he's just some... Because the guy who says it is your teammate, who's just very clearly going like, hell yeah, man, we are the Warriors of Light, get on. And people just kind of took him at his word for that. Whoops. Look at him rip the mic open and headbutt the crystal that sprouts out. Jack does not care, he is a man of violence. I love him. He really is just Final Fantasy's Doomguy. It's great. But so it's got a whole lot of tie-ins to Final Fantasy 1, but it isn't Final Fantasy 1. It's not. It's like kind of doing a either alt universe or timeline fuckery, or just, you know, side, you know, like optional, not optional, but, you know, like what if story shit going on. There's a wee saucy bits in the boss fight that kind of imply what's going on. I said kind of imply, I mean basically give away what's going on.
Treasure, huh?
Yeah.
So we've come full
Temple of the
circle,
Dead.
huh?
Ladder, over there.
And of course, we go over here. Like any good Soulsborne game, there's paths back. Nioh, just in particular, usually always has a ladder of some, like a door or a ladder that just leads you back on a path back to where you were, so you can get back to checkpoints easy for refills. For continuing, they just know their level design. They've got it down. They're pretty good about it. It's kind of the thing, like, the trailer was like, you know, comically, like, it emphasized the violence and all, which is a big part of it. He is a very violent man, and that's the point. Like, the developer interviews and, like, you know, suggestions and concept stuff from, like, the writer, developer, director. Nomura just did the character designs and put some input on the concept for the game. He's not actually writing it, despite what everyone screams about. Because everyone who doesn't like any given thing Square Enix does blames Nomura for it, even when he's explicitly not involved. Because everyone's just terrible. Warrior's Warcry can launch small enemies away from it, which is really great. There is wall bouncing, so if you launch small enemies in like towards a wall and they hit it just right, they will splat against the wall, then fall off it, and that will also wreck the shit out of their stamina. It's really clear with these bats, especially if we can steal their move. They're about to do it, like, stop them. There we go, watch. So that one didn't really bounce against the wall, that's kind of pinned it in place. That's fine. Oh, you're already gone. Hi. There you go. They hit the wall, slide down, meter falls apart. These are the bats we saw in the trailer, him just doing that too. It really is kind of thing, if they had shown the trailer and then immediately did the gameplay walkthrough, it would have come across so much better. But everyone is just quick to jump down, I presume because on top of the conference in general being really bad, anytime Final Fantasy does, you know, anything, people who don't play Final Fantasy leap upon it screeching about how it's not Final Fantasy anymore. Or how it's, you know, oh, I hate this, and it's kind of, well, that's fine, you don't play it anyway, fuck off. There's people going like, this is the end of Final Fantasy, they're ruining it. It's like, this is a spin-off. We still have 7 Remake coming. Final Fantasy 16 is coming. Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker is doing all the classical Final Fantasy shit. Like, there's no excuse anywhere.
Still got a ways to go.
I need to look through the Switch sale, actually. I forgot that's a thing. Fucking as well, Steam Game Festival tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to go through the hunt for demos to say here's more things I've added to my endless wish list and see if I remember any of them come time for a release. Yeah. This is kind of what I mean when I say like it's pretty easy to do like murder shit in it. It's not as hard as like Nioh or the other Soulsborns, and that's kind of because it does just kind of give you the tools to clean house. Give me that. Lost one. These things just spawn enemies over and over again, so the idea is, you know, cut through the wave. The waves. Oh yeah, if an enemy is under a pillar, or basically right next to a pillar, honestly, when it tips over, that will just immediately crush them against the floor and wreck their stamina. It just keeps tuning together forever. Master Blaster 303 is having a demo tomorrow. I haven't played any of these Master Blaster 0 games. I really should, because I think they look good. Part 10 UFO and the Cadence of Hyrule. Oops, I wasn't paying attention there. That screech is overpowered. I won't lie, it kinda is just overpowered. I'm just shredding all these fucking things. Look at it.
Giving up already? Come on, I gotta cut him off at the source.
He says as I'm cutting him off at the source. Forgot about Sheeran. As well, I need to fucking get on that. There's too many things to keep track of and get on.
Finally a break. This will take us.
I got Metroid Dread in August though now. We got fucking Advance Wars in December. Shin Megami Tensei 5 at the start of November, and Endwalker at the end of November. This at some point in 2022 is going to be fucking packed with shit as well, because this is also currently 2022. I have to get the fucking 7 Remake Intergrid, like the Yuffie DLC. The Nier Replicant still sitting here to start. Just when things seemed like there was going to not be much, the world comes alive and shits many more things and reminds me of more things. Skeleman. Skeletons being little lightweight shits can be launched by war cries, so you know, do what comes natural. Oh yeah, the red moves is unblockable moves that will just fucking get you at the dodges them, which is a neat thing. Which is another thing from Nioh, except in Nioh 2 they added what is it? Fucking brute kinders to like get rid of them. The ride never ends, but it is a beautiful ride. Yep. Game has a bit of a moment around this part. It's usually around doors for whatever reason. It starts having a bit of a moment. But to be fair, demo for a game that's come out God knows when in 2022. They already seem to have a whole ton of stuff in place, so it, yeah. They have all the time in the world, basically. That's weird. Get. Ow, my nipples. There's got Mega Man Zero collections on sale. Ooh. They've been knocked out of the way. Honestly, enough for me, just yet valid, honestly. Especially with the amount of stuff they're getting on with as is.
Ahead.
Hi, buddy.
Follow me.
All right.
I tried the roll. Rip my bones. There's a thing over there. Is that a cactar? I think it's a cactar. I heard you. Where'd you go? It despawned, I think. Fuck. Oh my god. Help my bones. Oof. Okay, no. That's just gonna wreck me. Forget if unblockable attacks are hittable by the Soul Guard or not. It's fine. Ridley 2 is not on sale, surprisingly. Huh. I guess to be fair, that only came out in like February. They might not consider it. And I realize, you know, it's been a few months, but they can be stingy about these things. They probably don't consider it worth, you know, needing a seal or whatever yet. That would be fucking nice. I had to get back to Bravely 2. I didn't finish it because, you know, the onslaught.
Darkness is so thick I can taste.
These are the lines that made people go flip shit. And this is part of the one where, like, another reason I think people would, like, oversell the edginess or whatever of it is, like, you know, The balance of light and darkness is important to original Final Fantasies as they are actual tangible. He's doing it again. Stop bumping that fucking plate, Luigi. Fine, I'll move it. You already passed. Yeah, like, it's very ironic, especially from people who complain about it being edgy and whinge about like all the darkness shit, when also simultaneously complaining that Final Fantasy isn't traditional high fantasy anymore. The light and darkness balance thing, on top of being, you know, critical to Final Fantasies 1 through 5, kind of also mainly 1 through 5, and all is, you know, on top of being the entire core pulsing thread through Final Fantasy 14, which I assume they refused to play because they're like, oh, it's an MMO. Like, fucking, you know, like, if the reference to the darkness is literally just the actual, like, force of darkness you claim to want back. And I think also a lot of people reveal that they haven't played Final Fantasy 1 or, you know, the Dissidia spin-offs, but mainly Final Fantasy 1. Because when he says he's going to kill Chaos in the Chaos Shrine, Chaos is the name of the Satan. It's not just the concept of Chaos, which a lot of people seem to think while also claiming that it's besmirching Final Fantasy 1. No. Unironically, seeing people say this is besmirching Final Fantasy 1 and is going to replace it and destroy it, while also not realizing that when he says Chaos, he's talking about the final boss of Final Fantasy 1. Like, people took that line literally, and it's kind of the thing of, like, people just take every single character's words and things at face value. There's Princess Sarah's line, that's describing Garland. It's capital C Chaos, it's Satan. Satan is a dude. Like, he just happens to be called Chaos here. He already looks pretty Satan. Yeah. Eat shit. And I love this. Fuck my giant sword. I'm just gonna beat this armored man to death with my hands and like my feet and fists. Fuck it. Ow, my bones. Yeah, you regret that one, Jack, don't you?
So this is what darkness does to me.
I respect the audacity of this man, though, in pulling that off and cracking the helmet open with his fucking fist, though. We don't. He is just Final Fantasy Doomguy. It's fucking nuts. Just how much that actually applies, and that's why I love him already. And Garland stopped, you know, fucking about. So, ow, my bone. Like Nioh, like blocking is actually extremely critical to survival. It's not just a dodging game the way the Souls games kind of fell into, I felt. Tried to grab that, fucked it up. Ow. You hit him with his blaze attacks, you bust up his thing. I didn't actually pull that off my first run today. Oh, that's not good. Okay, he's not paying attention to me though. Got him. Yeah, basically, like, around, you know, Doom 3... Doom 3? Dark Souls 3, they did just decide, fuck blocking. You're right, yeah, the music is extremely early Final Fantasy. It does a really good job. Eat shit, Garland, I knocked you down. In Dark Souls 1 you could block a hell of a lot, in 2 you could a lot, but I felt like it wasn't as effective as it was in 1, and then in 3 it was just fuck you if you tried it. In Nioh, if an enemy like hits you and starts like going into its fucking combo string on you, you can't like dodge out of it like the way you can like roll out of stuff in Souls games. In that one you explicitly have to block to break their combo, like, you know, like block the next attack of their combo. Even if you're being hit, you can block it at any point. Whereas your dodge gets locked out, so it requires a bit of rewiring of the brain, but it works a lot better and it makes blocking extremely powerful. Blocking in general is really powerful, you can block a lot of shit. Dodging, of course, is better and more efficient if you can pull it off, but it's also a lot trickier to pull off. With timing, it's a lot easier to block to actually get in to do your own hits. And this feels like that. It really is just kind of like Nioh's systems, but with like a lot of the like stuff pared back a bit to be a bit less like complex, to be a bit less full on. And in exchange for it, they're just like, you know, they've tied all the things together. Like, I didn't show it exactly because I already have it set up. But here, you have a basic combo string, all your stuff are just mashing R1 3 times. You can set your different special moves, like the giant flip or the piercing thrust and all that, to different parts of those combo strings. So you can have it set to, like, if you hit R1 once, then R2, you do one. You do R1, R1, R2, you do the next. R1, 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 R2, do the next. You can have it set so if you hold R1 for a charge attack and then hit R2, you can swap into a different one. You set them all. Some of them have limitations, like some can only come after the third hit, some can only after the second or first. Some can be placed anywhere. Stuff like that. So it rearranges some of the, you know, the mechanical complexity stuff, and it makes it, on the whole, a lot easier, but it also flows a lot faster and feels more satisfying, I think. I really like Nioh. I think this feels more satisfying, just kind of where it is already, which really holds promise for a Nioh 3. But at the same time, I do kind of like the fuss and the planning that goes into a lot of like Nioh getting around the level and stuff, which this is making up for, I guess, by virtue of, like, instead of having like swapping to ranged weapons to like pick off if certain enemies, problem enemies, and like solve an area a certain way, you have magic for that. Like you could use, if you know what you're doing with your magic, you can bust through bomb hallway like it's fucking nothing. Stuff like that. It is incredibly good. Like, it is, like, even at this early stage, I'm kind of like, oh fuck, I would just sink into this now if I could. I've now played it 3 times today, 3 times. Once this morning by myself, once for like the hour before you came, and now a second, you know, like second time here on stream. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I could keep going. it's just really good. We don't know yet, because they explicitly haven't said yet. At the same time, they didn't announce this at Sony's show or anything, so it's very possible it'll come to PC. I should note, the Nioh games consistently have, like, they usually hit PlayStation first, but then they come to PC later. And their PC ports are pretty good, so I imagine it's the same situation. It'll be like PS5 first, and then PC within like a year. Because that was the pattern for the Nioh game, so I imagine this is no different. Yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy it. They really did just get a bad start. Like, Square Enix snubbed it at their own fucking conference because they, you know, the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy shit in the Avengers game that no one's playing anymore. And then the demo didn't work because it had some corrupted file issue, and it took them a whole like 2 days to solve it. But now it's solved, and like, you're playing it, it's like, oh, it's just good. It's just so good. It's like you were playing Final Fantasy, some Doomguy touring through this castle. The action feels really good. It just controls super well. It absorbs enough of its base systems from Nioh that it's intrinsically satisfying out of the gate. All the new stuff they've added works together super well. It just feels fucking great. And while it is much easier, I think, than Nioh, well, to be fair, like, it has bite still. Enemies can still fuck you up pretty fast on normal. Because they do a lot of damage, just, and you can be staggered. You'd have like a stagger gauge of your own shit. You've no stamina meter, but you have a break gauge, like a guard gauge that as enemies hit you also goes down, so you can be guard broken. Which you saw when guard broke me at the end, but they didn't finish me off mercifully. Which is good, because that was like a much better run than I managed earlier. It's like, I just love it. I'm just yelling about it. I'm just kind of like, oh, this is so good. I can't wait for this to fucking come out. Just vibrate in place until this releases. It's just so good. Yeah, quarter to 11, I think now having just repeatedly yelled, it's so good, in and around yelling about how much I like everything about it, I think that'll be me for the night. It's been a good day. It's been a fucking good day. This came out, it was fucking great. Like this finally started working today, it's fucking great. Metroid exists again. It's Metroid Dread, Metroid 5. Finally they're getting on it. It looks so good. Advance Wars lives again. Like, you wouldn't think it, but suddenly E3 became really nice just at the very end. Metroids. Fucking looking forward to that. Nintendo wins E3 pretty casually, just because everyone else, they just basically brought their A game while everyone else just tripped over themselves and died. It feels nostalgic to say that. It's kind of like E3s of yore in a way. Well, thanks for coming out and watching, Hammer. I'm going to, fuck, I'm at work tomorrow. Man, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna stay up for the night again. I don't know, do more Final Fantasy 14 grinding or something for the rest of the night, but no, I'm fucking at work tomorrow. I will likely, unless something changes that, I will probably be on tomorrow for the next main stream game. I need a better way of saying that. And then I've got, we got a stream plan for Friday and a correspondence on during the weekend. But yes, thanks for watching and good night. Sleep well.